It was Jim Rohn that said that formal education will make you a living, but personal education will make you a fortune. Now, the beautiful thing about books is that books do not show discrimination. Books are not tribalistic. They have no macho inclinations, and definitely books are not biased. Anyone who embraces personal education receives the transformative power that comes with it. And one such man that embraced self-education and became a global coach by reading is Tony Robbins. Stay with me. Hi, I'm Gozi Okure. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this channel, we discuss books and how to leverage reading for success in life. Please subscribe to my channel, and if you can give me a thumbs up or share this link with loved ones, that would be amazing. In today's video, we'll be discussing Tony Robbins as a product of self-education. Several years ago, I got up very early in the morning. That was in my house in Caracas, Venezuela. I got up and headed for the kitchen to go and prepare breakfast for my children and then prepare their lunch pack. As I was going, I noticed that my husband was in the parlor, and that was quite unusual. He was supposed to have been in his prayer room. So I went closer and I saw that his face was glued to the screen and his eyes were misty. I wonder what could be affecting my husband so tremendously. So I went and sat by him and I began to watch. I saw a large auditorium that was filled with a lot of men, and they all appeared very successful. Some of them were familiar faces in Hollywood and in America generally. I began to wonder what was happening, and it turned out that those men and women gathered to pay tribute to Jim Rohn, a foremost American motivational speaker who had just died. And most of them, their eyes were equally misty. In fact, there were some that outrightly broke down in tears while they were giving their tribute. Now, but the highlight of the night was the tribute that was given by Tony Robbins. He said that he met Jim Rohn when he was only 17 years old, and he spoke words into his life that changed the trajectory of his life. Now, Tony Robbins spoke with so much power and influence, and I decided to get his book. I bought his book, Awakening the Giant Within. So who is Tony Robbins? Tony Robbins is a foremost American motivational speaker, coach, and best-selling author. He's a man who has influenced millions of people all over the world by his coaching programs and his seminars. Now, what so many people do not know is that Tony Robbins had a very chaotic childhood. His parents divorced when he was only 7 years old, and his mother remarried several times. The mother battled with addictions and she was abusive. Now, by the time Tony Robbins was only 17, the mother drove him out of the house with a knife, and Tony walked away and never returned. Tony became a janitor and moved houses for people in weekends for a living. His turnaround came when he asked his landlord the secret of his success. The man told him that he became successful after attending a Jim Rohn webinar, and in that webinar he had some words which he implemented that brought him to his wealthy zones. Now, Tony Robbins mopped up everything he had and paid for the same training. He went to Jim Rohn's training, and there he had transformative words such as the one we discussed earlier in my last video, where Jim Rohn said that formal education will make you a living, but personal education will make you a fortune. Now, after Tony Robbins had such words, he began to invest in books. He embraced personal education. In fact, it was said of him that he began to read books on psychology, sales and marketing, and such related disciplines. There was a year I had he read over 200 books in 1 year. Now, remember that because of his chaotic childhood, he didn't have the privilege of going to college. He didn't have the privilege of going to the university, but he embraced personal education and so transformed his life that he became a coach even to presidents. Remember that he didn't go to college. He didn't go to the university. He simply embraced personal education. He embraced self-education, and he began to read books and attend webinars. And at the end of the day, he became a best-selling author, became a globally acknowledged coach, and then today it is said that he's worth more than $600 million. His life is a shining example or a shining testimony to what Jim Rohn said, that personal education will make you a fortune. This young man didn't go to the university. He was not disqualified by the chaotic upbringing he had, chaotic childhood he had, but because he embraced personal education, today he's one of the most prominent men in the world. I remember reading his book, Awaken the Giant Within, and he told the story of how he was flying his private jet one day with his wife. They were headed towards his seminar. And he said that from the skies, he could recognize a particular building where he had been a janitor only about 19 years earlier. And then by the time he was getting close to the venue of his seminar, he noticed that there was traffic down, a lot of vehicles, okay? And he began to wish in his heart, whatever event it was that brought the traffic, that he should clear so that it will not affect his seminar. But when he landed, he discovered that it was actually his seminar that brought the traffic. Men and women have trooped out in their numbers to attend the seminar of a young man who wasn't a college graduate. Now, what was it that he was telling them? Now, this man read a lot of books because he embraced personal education, he embraced self-education, he read so many books that knowledge began to ooze out of his mouth. In fact, solutions began to tumble out of his lips. And that was why people were willing to pay thousands of dollars to come and sit down and hear him speak for a couple of hours. Now, why am I telling those stories? I'm telling these stories because, again, I want to say that books do not show discrimination. Books are not tribalistic. Books have no macho inclinations, and books are not biased. Anyone and everyone who makes up their mind to embrace self-discipline and open books and begin to read, you will see that books will release their transformative power to the person. Yes, books will release the transformative power to the person, whether you are a girl or a boy, whether you are a woman or a man. As long as you can make up your mind to pick good books, good relevant books, and begin to read them, you will begin to embrace the same transformative power that has transformed the life of Tony Robbins, a man who didn't have college education and a man who didn't have a perfect childhood. Yet today, he is affecting millions because he chose to read. I want to encourage you to make reading a part of your life. It doesn't take so much. I tell people that even if it is 30 minutes a day that you can invest in reading good books, you will get the rewards of it. The transformative power will show forth for you, right? And I tell people, remind people of J.K. Rowling that said that a person who doesn't read is someone who has not seen the right books. Everybody is a reader. Majority of the people do not read because they have not found the kind of books they would love to read. That's why I encourage you. Go around. Next time when you go to anywhere they're selling books, take your time, look around. You will see a book that will call your name. You will see a book that says, buy me. Buy such books and sit down and begin to read, because a lot of things depends on your embracing personal education. Yes, once again, I want to remind you of that quote, that formal education will make you a living and personal education will make you a fortune. Thank you so much for being a part of this. If you got value from this video, I want you to please subscribe to my channel and share this link with some other person who might need this information. Until I come your way next time, keep reading.